Alright, so here we are. We got, we'll call this Sunday Morning Coffee the bonus edition, alright? A couple things about me. Most of you have already discerned this if you've been following my channel for any period of time. One, I'm not stating this in an offensive manner, just matter-of-factly. I'm not of what you consider a contemporary faith. That is an old Germanic rune. Some days you gotta wonder. By dictate of lack of a better term, I fall under the guise or ground rules of heathen or on scholarly. Up on scholarly ledges, Asatru is what my faith would be referred to. Okay, Odin, Thor, Freya, you get the idea. All right. Yes, I'm serious. It's not a joke. I'm not fooling. It's not in a disrespectful manner. I don't think there is a wrong answer to the aspects of faith, so long as it's a positive light in existence. I read a lot of science fiction, and then past that, old Icelandic, Norwegian, Scandinavian poetry. And I fall upon many quotes, and I make statements toward, about, or around said quotes from authors or texts that I enjoy to read or glean a little wisdom from. And if you folks listen really hard, the little peanut just got in trouble, so she's hollering and bellowing in her room because she threw a cat at her brother. This is just a small hodgepodge, a handful of quotes. Quite frankly, a lot of it's from Robert Heinlein. I read a lot of his material. It'll be a sad day when I run out of new stuff to read from Robert Heinlein. But I wanted to poke in and give, I guess, a glance at my sense of reasoning. First one is this. I don't like this particular translation as well as others, but this comes from a poem called The Havamal, or rough translation, The Sayings of Har. It's off out of the Eddas, which are, it's old Icelandic poetry. Cattle die, kinsmen die. All men are mortal. Words of praise will never perish, nor a noble name. We all pass, we all perish. Our belongings crumble to dust. Our deeds, our actions, our namesake that we build, uphold, and have quite frankly borrowed from our children, that's what lives on. It's ours to do something in your life that's worth notable mention. That's worth story, song, or praise. That's what that means to me. Always strive to hand your children a name worth owning. This is one. A great one from old author Isaac Asimov. My son has anger issues. I had anger issues at one point in my life. And this one, I drill into my son's head because he wants to try to take a swing at sister, But keep it in mind. Think about it. Chew on it. Violence is the last refuge of the incompetent. There's an inverse. It's a double-edged blade. For all who think that violence never resolved anything, Mr. Heinlein in his book Starship Troopers, don't confuse it with that shithole movie, violence, naked force, has resolved more issues, conflicts, and problems throughout the history of mankind than any other individual force. So yes, violence does solve, resolve, and execute problems and issues. But on the same hand, as has been quoted by many an author and individual, history is always written through the eyes of the victor. So that one needs to be scrutinized a little bit. But Mr. Heinlein's full of wonderful nuggets through a catalog of some 50 books or so. I don't know. I'd have to find out how many books he wrote, from short stories to long novels. Something I see today with all the gun grabbing, this pertains particularly well. An armed society is a polite society. Manners are good when one may have to back up his acts with his life. A lot of your most terrible most dangerous areas are in places that gun ownership is prohibited. Chicago, Cook County, there are more gun crimes there per capita than most of the United States. But owning a handgun is prohibited, legally prohibited. Arm everybody. There's cases of abuse of that right and privilege, but it happens. There's going to be abuse in every system and every law. Every new law put out, there's a new way to graft. Something a little on the same aspect about freedom and morality and ethics, And this comes from our buddy RAH again. I am free. I know that I alone am morally responsible for everything I do. I am free no matter what rules surround me. If I find them tolerable, I tolerate them. If I find them too obnoxious, I break them. I am free because I know that I alone am morally responsible for everything I do. And that's something I think primarily we as a nation, as a people, shit as a planet have really forgotten. Everyone wants to pass the buck. It's someone else's fault. I don't see spoons getting outlawed because we have fat Americans, but they want to outlaw guns because people buy something on the street with the serial number filed off and go kill somebody. And, follows into life and death. Supreme irony of life is that hardly anyone gets out of it alive. The death rate is the same for us as anybody. One person, one death, sooner or later. And I like this one. It makes me giggle, but there's more truth to it than not. In this, I particularly think of B.W. Darren with some fondness. If you know a man, observe how he treats a cat. It's along the line of cats and quotes from Heinlein. If you think protocol is unimportant, clearly you've never dealt with a cat. Heinlein was an author, a gentleman, an officer, a swinger, a libertarian, many things. He was very interesting. He was a very interesting cat, and I enjoy a lot of his authorship. This one, I think he stated it more eloquently, but it's been said before. Progress doesn't come from early risers. Progress is made by lazy men looking for better ways, easier ways to do things. And when it's all down feeling glum and beat. Certainly, the game is rigged. Don't let that stop you. If you don't play, you can't win. You need to observe bigger than just your immediate surroundings. I hear a lot of people complaining about the system and rich people and what for and so forth. Why discount yourself to try to fight an imperfect system when you can observe freely and easily the concepts and rules that allowed other people to attain? If wealth is the key to you, use the rules that are given. Don't fight them, don't buck them, there's loopholes in every law. There's ways around every situation. Too many people complain about the system, yet do not understand how it operates. We live in a country that was created by businessmen that had little to no care for, quite frankly, working class people. But many working class people, through understanding and utilizing the system as it stands, have risen to ranks of millionaires, billionaires, and beyond count. Point them out. The Hearst family. They have untold riches. It's a privately held organization, or a privately held corporation. Nobody really knows their whole reach. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Carnegie, Henry Ford. We can reach, but there's always that possibility and potential. You're only stuck with your lot in life as far as you're allowing it to do so. I don't need to be rich to be happy. My life is simple, simpler every passing year, and much better and happier than it's ever been. So, pages from my notebook. There you go, folks. Those are some of the quotes I use, some of the words of wisdom I cherish, that I pass them on to you. Have a great one.